Hello everyone, my name is Baloo, this is my sketchbook. It's June, it's summer, it's warm, it's hot. Please send help, I'm dying here. Yeah. Now that you've heard me plead for help, what are we gonna do in this episode of Baloo Does Things and Draws Something? Today, let me ask you a question. You've probably already seen the thumbnail, that's why you're here, and read the title, so you probably already know what this video is all about. But let's turn on our bulbs of imagination and think that we don't know what's gonna happen in this episode. So let me ask you a question. What do you get when you combine food and the cat? No, not Garfield. To be fair, it does fit quite well. Actually, that just sparked an idea in my head. This video is gonna be about something that is, again, part of Magic the Gathering. I know majority of the videos I've done so far are about how I make cards for Magic the Gathering, because you know what? I love that game, but it's a little different, at least in the sense that I am not making it for myself. See? Not self-centered. Let's go through it, okay? So my friend loves Bloom Barrow, the set that came last year in August, I think. And he had a great luck of pulling Ygra, the Devourer of All, a really cute elemental cat that hunts everything and eats everything. Basically Garfield, if you think about it, but also a bit scarier. The whole idea of the commander is that when he enters the battlefield, everything except him is food. Basically everything becomes a food subtype. So naturally, my friend needs a lot of food tokens. It's a card that you get sometimes and you use it for the games if the deck requires it. Because I like making cards that are thematic around the deck that they are used in, I decided to give my friend a little present and make a food token for him that has the vibes and the feel and the theme and all of the other things that are similar to what I just said of Ygra, the Devourer of All. Now, what's the difference between this illustration and the last illustration? Not much, the same process, the same let's write things down, sketch the ideas that I have, then go to drawing board and do everything with traditional media. But there's a small difference. Difference is that I've changed the paper that I'm using. Last time I tested out a new paper, well, it's not the paper that I tested that I'm using here, but it's similar. They both have grain, they both have texture on it, and the watercolor works so much better on that than on the normal paper. So in this video, I'm also using similar paper, though I am still not satisfied with the paper quality. Not because the paper is bad. No, paper is amazing, it's great, it works perfectly with watercolors, but there's a small problem. I do not like how it works with the pencils. See, because it has quite a big grain and the texture is quite heavy, I have this problem of when I use the pencil, there's a huge gaps and separations, so a lot of white is shown, even if I use the watercolor to fill it up. So I'm not really comfortable, or I'm not really liking how it looks that much, but I'm not sure what to do about it. I like the smoothness of the previous illustrations with pencils, but the watercolor doesn't work on those papers. So I'm lost a little bit. I want to see if I can find a different paper that has less texture, so the pencil will work great, but also take watercolors better as well. Compared to non-texture paper, so it's still a juggle a little bit, you know. Other than that, there's nothing different. Again, the same process. Also, no, you know what? There is a small difference because of the textured paper and because of the paper's thickness. The printer, basically the same thing I said last time. The printer can't take the paper and print I can't print the line work on it, so I have to use my little imagination and either draw from the beginning on the paper, which nah, I'll mess it up, or use something to trace it over. So I found some glass, I used some lamp, and I printed out the line work on the normal paper, and just with like projection transferred everything on the actual watercolor paper, and then taped it in, and the work began, as it should have. Now, the thought process. What's the thought process? Well, I wanted to do something that is a food token, at least in the Dex sense, but also not just, oh, it's a food on the card. So, like, what was that accent? I didn't want it to be like, oh, this is a food token, so it has to have a food on it. I wanted to play with the theme, because Ygra sees everything as a food. I don't really have to draw like actual meat and like grapes and stuff on the card. I could use the food as a metaphorical sense, in a way, I think. So that's what I did. First of all, I looked at the Ygra's base visual, this one, for a long time, and I had this idea of, hey, Ygra is chasing small critters, and they are running from him. Ygra sees... That's first point. Second point, Ygra sees everything... What's wrong with me? Ygra sees everything as food, so that's the second point. So what if I combine those two together and work with that? Because of that, I decided, let's not have the actual physical forms of the food and keep that aspect of the illustration to our imagination. Again, because everything is a food and everything can be a food, even the big creatures that I might play against the Ygra, or anyone else can play against the Ygra, even humans or like merfolk or I don't know, elves or like other decks, everything, Eldrazi even, because everything is considered food, let's not have the physicality shown, but play on the idea of like, oh, this is the food token because everything is a food. So that's why I thought, instead of using the physical like mouse, or well, not physical, but like actually drawing mouse and like small critters, I will only show their eyes, the scared eyes of the prey of Ygra. I'll put them somewhere where they are hiding. So in that way, you don't actually consider that, oh, that probably is gonna be mice, or the, I don't know, raccoons are drawn then. Instead of that, you see only eyes and think, okay, those eyes can be anything. They can be like a bigger creature, a smaller creature. That can be me or you, like, because Ygra eats all. Again, Garfield. So I did kind of the first thing that came in my head, tree, and hide the creatures inside the tree, and the Ygra is looming. I got the idea of Ygra looming from really amazing... I've been looking at his art for quite some time right now. Jorge Molina, he's a comic book artist. The traditional work that he has done is so good. I absolutely love it. And he has this illustration of Hulk that's just his face, and illustration of Swamp Thing that again is just like a bust, and that's such a cool illustration. I want to be inspired by them, so that's that's what I did. I used the idea of like just having a big head with the glowing eyes and like looming on top of something for the basis of the Ygra, and that's why you see that it's drawing like that. Just energy. Plus, oh, talking about energy, I really like doing like anything that is a light source, energy projection, the energy beams, the fire, the lights as just graphic shapes. Like really, again, I think it's like a little comic booky, but I like how it looks. Like other things are more 3D in a way, but the actual light beams are so graphical, and I like the synthesis. Oh wow, synthesis of those two. Jesus, that took so long. What I like about this illustration is, again, the glowing eyes, and how they turned out. I feel like they are really great key points of this illustration. If that makes any sense, if it does not, I'm so sorry, but it's... Guys, listen, the next couple months I'll be struggling to survive, okay? Because it's warm, it's hot, not even warm, and I hate heat. So bear with me, okay? I said what I like about this illustration. Might as well say what I don't like about this illustration, you know? It's like both sides. What I don't like about this illustration is the texture itself that I yapped a lot about it at the beginning of the video. Kinda at the beginning. I like it, but I also don't. It's like a love and hate situation. I'm like, oh, it looks really good, but at the same time, oh, it's too much. It's like, get a little bit less, a little bit, just a little bit. So it doesn't really. Maybe there is a way to dodge that. Maybe I need to put down more of the watercolors. Or an idea that I have is, what if I use the pencils and then go over on top of it with watercolor that is specifically the color that I'm using, or like of the same family, and that will kind of smooth it out maybe, so it has like a texture but like not that much texture. Actually, that's a smart idea. I think I need to do that. I think I'm gonna do that after I'm done with this, after I'm done with talking with you. All said and done, I love how this turned out, even with its own flaws. Let's be honest, artists, we are never gonna have the illustration as good as we have it in our heads. Okay, if you are the one who's making illustrations and you draw and you paint, you know what I'm talking about. We are never satisfied with what we get. But it is good that I made this for my friend, and when he saw it, he was like, oh my god, this is the best thing you have ever done. What the hell? Dude, make more. I need the physical version of... Maybe he didn't say all of that, but in my mind, he was like so excited and so happy about it. So I just came up with the things he might have said. No, he might have thought and never said. You never know. I'll never know. But he was really happy and he was satisfied. And because of that, I am really happy and I'm really satisfied. I think that if someone asks you to do something and you make it, you put a lot of thought and like you pull your heart into it, and they then really like it, even if you don't like it yourself, it's a success. You don't have to like what you do. Okay, I need to rephrase that a bit better. You can enjoy what you're doing. It's not the process I'm talking about. You might not be fully happy with what you've done, but if it was done for someone and that someone loves it, then you have a 5-star mark rating success. Man, I did rumble a lot, didn't I? But yeah, as I said, I really like how this turned out. I hope you enjoyed me like tinkering. Wow. Tinkering with this illustration, and you also was not really bored with me rumbling this much. I have already an idea of next illustration. I'm gonna test something with papers instead of this paper. This paper was A4 size, so I'm thinking about using 2 A4 sizes and make them like put them on top of each other and make it as an A3 and use that. I dug out some of my old illustrations and works from like 2020 and 2021, and I saw something that I have not finished and I want to finish it, so I'm gonna make an illustration out of it, and I think it's gonna be a fun one. You know what? If you want to see it, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and just click that bell as well. Get some notifications. I do upload shorts as well about me just having fun, and if you are having fun, let's stick around. Let's make a community. Let's be... Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.